I've been writing email copy since I was 16 years old. And now, over 7 years later, I've wrote thousands of emails for all different types of niches, from baby clothes and products to business opportunities slash make money online products, training programs for weightlifting, a lot of health supplements, health foods, you name it. I've probably written for it in some capacity. And now, over this time, I've made so many mistakes and learned so much that I just wanted to riff on a few of the foundational things that any writer should be doing or any email marketer should be considering when it comes to creating the email marketing or writing the email copy. This is applicable especially for any beginner or intermediate writers, as these people tend to make the same mistakes, along with any brand founders looking to do their own email marketing or who are currently creating their own email marketing. So today I'm going to jump in, go over a few examples and show you exactly what I'm talking about with 3 major tips or foundational rules that I'd recommend you following. So let's get straight into it. Now, the first thing is, if you aren't especially good at your email marketing or email copywriting, the easiest way to get results is by just writing shorter emails. Longer emails are typically just a lot harder to get someone to read all the way through, or they're a lot harder to pull the reader the whole way through. It requires a much better level of copywriting or some great content or offer that you're pulling them through with. Now let's jump in this computer and have a quick look at some emails and see what I'm talking about here. Scrolling through here. Now this is a pretty long email. It's pretty dense, like straight up. When you look at it, it is a large bit of text looking at you straight away. And for a lot of readers, especially younger readers, when they are confronted by a lot of text like this, a lot of times their brains just say no, to be quite frank, and they can't be bothered reading all this text. Think about when you get a message from a friend or whatever, and you open the message and it's just your whole huge blurb of just a solid paragraph of a text message. Maybe even takes up your whole phone. Are you going to read it right then? Most of the times you'll look at it and you would think to yourself, no, I'll do that later. But it's mainly just a pain avoidance thing where you just can't be bothered reading all of it and you don't want to. It's a similar thing here. If you send someone an email and they open it, when they first look at it, they just see a wall of text. It's just a lot of effort, and not many people are willing to go through and read all this without a especially good hook or good offer compelling them to do so. Now, this isn't that bad. I've seen much worse than this. They have done a pretty good job here with pulling the reader in with a decent lead, and there are some bullet points down the bottom here getting their attention as well. But still, this is quite a long email to get someone to read the entire thing. For contrast, let's look at this email from Layla Hormozi, which this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is super short, one idea, going straight to the point. Is when you look at the email, or when you open this on desktop especially, you can see here that the main call to action is above the fold. They can see it straight away. They don't even have to read the whole email if they don't want to. If they just open this and they see this private video from Alex, here's a private video from Alex, that's it. They could just go bing, bang, bong, like straight away, straight to the video, straight to the call to action, without even needing to read all of this. If they are not quite bored on this, and they can read this up here, and you can see here that this is a pretty good line. Alex talks about being unaware of the real constraints that cost us $12 million. Again, this is adding curiosity to the main call to action to get people to actually click. But with regards to the length of an email, if you don't have much to actually cover, or if you don't need to cover much, make the email as short as possible. There's no reason to make your email any longer than it absolutely needs to be. So much so that when we write emails and we're writing copy for our clients, one of the things that we do is we go through each line and basically think to ourselves, is this line needed? If we just cross this line out, read the line above, skipped it to the next line, and it still works, get rid of it. There's no point in having a longer email than you absolutely need it to be. Keep it as short as possible whilst it's still doing its job. So typically, the way you do this is by having one call to action, one major idea, and one offer. So whether that's content, sale, product, whatever, if it is a sale or content, usually you don't even need one idea. You just go lead, quick transition, straight into call to action, and the content or whatever the link is that you're sending to does the majority of the legwork. Because If the whole point of the email is to send a content, then you don't need to have a bunch of content in the email. It's just getting them to go to where you want them to be. If it's an offer or a sale, again, keep it as short as possible, especially if there's a good sales page that you're sending to that has a high conversion rate. There's no need for the reader to spend a huge amount of time on your email. If you have any more, let's call it sales ammunition, or any more points that isn't covered on the sales page, then you can put them in here. But don't add so many that the call to action falls below the fold, or makes the email so long that by the time that they go through all the copy that you've just added to it and get back to the call to action that's down below that they've forgotten what the email was about in the first place. So the whole point here is just, if you're not confident and if you're not experienced in writing copy and in writing longer form copy for email marketing, stick to writing shorter emails. It's much easier to get people to click through a shorter email than it is to get them to go through a longer email. Is there credence in longer emails, and is there a way to do it that works extremely well? Yes, but it's just way harder for a beginner, or even intermediate copywriter or a business owner to be able to do this effectively. Why is it so hard? It's because of my second point, which is keeping your emails easy to digest. Now, this email does a great job at it. There's a few things that stick out as soon as I open it, which are the majority of the sentences are single lines. So it's very easy to read this. There's no big blocks of text. There's no paragraphs with multiple sentences in it. There's no 3 or 4 line sentences in the email. And it's just super easy to read through because it's for short, punchy sentences. What you don't want to do is what is typically the quote-unquote grammatically correct thing, which is have 3 or 4 sentences in one paragraph. Like, that is super hard to read. It takes a lot of effort from the reader, and again, a lot of times when they see things like this, as per this email here, like, you look at this and this is obviously much more effort than the other email that we just looked at before. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to talk about is keeping the language and the copy that you're writing very easy to read or actually digest. Actionably, this looks like writing copy or writing words at a lower grade reading level. This is very easily checked through something called the Hemingway app. So this website here is free to use, and what it will do is it will spit out the level of reading that the copy that you're writing is at. So if I use this email as an example, looking at it, I'm going to say this isn't too bad. I'm going to guess it's going to be a grade 6 or 7 reading level. Yep, grade 6. But using this, you can see what grade rating level your copy is that you're writing, and it'll actually identify what blocks or what lines of copy are especially hard to read. So what you do is you write your copy, you write your email, whatever, you finish it, finalize it, and you put it into this, and it tells you what grade rating level or what is the readability of the copy that you wrote. Then what you do is go through and you basically try and fix all the red and orange sentences to try and break them up, use simpler language, and basically dumb it down. And that's pretty much what we're doing here. We're just dumbing down the copy to make it more consumable and easy to read. Some brand owners or some people may hear this and think, oh no, my audience is more sophisticated and they want more sophisticated language. To that, I would say you're pretty much just wrong. There's been studies done on this by direct response businesses that have put together all of their marketing materials to see what grade rating level their best performing emails, sales letters and whatnot were. Agora Pharmacy did one where their highest converting sales letters averaged at a 3rd grade rating level, and they're selling financial services, which is arguably a very sophisticated market. But actually, when you think of a sophisticated reader, when they're reading simpler copy, they're likely not going to sit there and think, oh, this is written to a very dumb level. They're just going to read through it easier and quicker, which means they're going to comprehend the copy that you're reading faster, they're going to read it faster, and then they're going to get to the call to action quicker, faster, while not getting caught or stuck on any of the ideas or copy or sentences that you wrote. And for those people who are less sophisticated or have less good reading ability, then they can actually comprehend it at all. There's nothing worse for converting people, your copywriting, than confusing them. As soon as they're confused, they're gone. Good luck trying to get them back. It's super hard. So you want to hold them by the hand, drag them through your copy pretty much, or pull them through your copy one line at a time with very simple and easy to read words, sentence structures, and email format. So short emails with easy to read sentence structures, and then easy to read language. Now, the very last thing I'll touch on here is, again, when it comes down to simplicity. And the main thing I want to talk on is having just one idea. Especially for intermediate or more advanced copywriters, a lot of times I see people try to fit in multiple different copywriting or marketing tricks or terms or whatever into the one email, where they got a nice lead, the main idea, and then they chuck in social proof, urgency, scarcity, and they try to fit way too many things into one email, and it ends up being too long because they're trying to make quote unquote good copy. But the funny thing is, the best copy is just a copy that converts, and most of the time that ends up being just shorter, easier to read, simpler copy. So don't get caught in the trap of trying to write especially cool or good copy, and instead just write the most simple, easy to read and understand copy you can, because ultimately that's going to be the copy that gets the highest conversions most of the time, at least from what I've seen in the past 7 odd years I've been writing. So to summarize all this, in one sentence, it would definitely be keep it simple. Actionably, it would be keep the emails as short as they possibly can. Number 1, only follow one idea. Do not try to integrate several different ideas or conversion mechanisms or whatever into the one email. It'll only confuse the reader or make the email way too long. And lastly, make it consumable. So make it easy to read with sentence structure and the language that you're using. All of this leading to only one call to action. Just don't fool yourself into thinking you can get someone to take 2 different call to actions in one email. Like, most people can't even get one with less than 1% click-through rate on the emails that they're sending. So who are you to think that someone's going to open your email, read through it, click the first call to action, go do that, or go read the blog or whatever content or whatever you have, come back, read the rest of the email, and then click the second call to action, go buy the product? That's just not going to happen. Whenever you add multiple call to actions to an email, you're basically, like here for example, I'm reading, I see this, and I'm going to make a decision whether either I should click this and go to this Zoom registry and register for the Zoom now, or this masterclass, or I keep reading and go on to the next call to action. Now this one's actually the same call to action twice, so this is less of a problem, but especially if it's 2 call to actions, whenever you have multiple call to actions, if you have call to action and then more text below it, someone's got to read it and decide whether they want to click and go to this call to action that you just put in there, or keep reading. And a lot of times that people get confronted with this decision and just say no, because ultimately decisions take effort to make. People don't love making decisions all the time. So what will happen a lot of the time is when you confront someone with something like this, is they'll just stop, they'll get kind of confused, and then they'll just click away and go to the next email. Like, you don't have their attention for that long, and it's super hard to keep it. So if you do have their attention, funnel it down, one main idea, one conversion mechanism, whatever, into one call to action. Save your second call to action or whatever for another email, and then do an email based entirely around that. But that's pretty much it. I just want to harp on keeping your emails simple. Keep your copy simple, keep the email format simple, whatever. Don't get carried away. We're literally just trying to do what works, not what looks the best, what sounds the best, what's the most fancy copywriting or whatever. Just keep it simple and keep improving upon that. Now, if you have any questions at all about this stuff, I'm more than happy to help. I love talking about copywriting and all this stuff, so feel free to leave a comment below or to reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to help you out. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. Talk soon. Cheers.